Random thought time. My camera's squeaking on the dashboard. So right now I'm thinking about like boundaries with people, and this is twofold. One is like workplace, colleagues, clients, and how you can, well, I work from home, so it's not that big of a deal, but if you're like in person, we were talking about this in an academic group I'm in called Prolific the other day. Like, how can you stop people from eating up your time, like by jumping in your DMs or stepping into your office if the door is open and chatting for 20 minutes or 3 hours or or whatever it is. And part of that solution is, you know, working from home. Part of it is keeping your door closed. Part of it is like saying, oh, hey, I have 5 minutes. I have to make a copy. Would you walk with me? Or I don't have the time to dedicate my full time and attention to you. How about we schedule something for later this week? So there's ways that you can train people, like your colleagues or clients, and how they correspond to you. One thing that I do is I don't have my ringer on my phone. So like no notifications on my phone whatsoever. I do check my phone throughout the day if I need to, but the people that are important to me, like I've trained them to contact me in other ways. Email preferably. And I have that on my voice message. So no matter what, a phone call goes straight to voice message. Unless it's my son, and that will ring through. And you can set up life rules for how you want to interact with people, how to protect your time and energy so that you can get stuff done. And what I think a lot of people don't know is like, hey, you don't have to drop everything and respond immediately. Like, especially if you're working with somebody else or if you're in the middle of a project, it's okay to delay your response. And I think there's so much like instant gratification nowadays that people are so used to like getting what they want right away. And if you don't respond right away, they're like, you know. And I think that we should normalize making people wait or scheduling meetings in advance. And like for me, on a personal level, I am an introvert of introverts. Like I am very, very protective of my time and energy. And for a very long time, I would drop things for people because that's how I was raised. I was raised to put everybody else's needs before myself, and that did not serve me well. And it has taken me a long time to unlearn that unhealthy thing because it did me no good. It was harmful to me. And so like I mentioned, I don't have notifications on. If people, like I occasionally drive a friend to the doctor, and that's like scheduled out weeks in advance. If that friend wants a ride like the same day, I'm not going to do it because that'll disrupt my, like I have to take a day off of work to do it, you know? So it's important to me to have things scheduled in advance because that way I can plan out my week accordingly to the time that's going to be spent and the energy that's going to be drained from spending time with people. The same thing with like video chats. I love meeting with people on Zoom. And lately somebody has been trying to like video chat me on social media, which, you know, I enjoy the conversations, but it totally disrupts my entire day. And then I don't get any work done, and then I'm just drained. So I'm not going to respond right away. And if I see that person trying to, video call me, I'll take my time, and when I can, I'll send the link to my scheduler and be like, hey, if you want to be in a video call with me, schedule a time. I usually text people back or email people back same day, usually, within an hour or two. So that's not an issue. And the other thing I wanted to say about this is, just because somebody has historically been in your life, whether it's a friend or a family member or whatever, if that relationship is not serving you, if that relationship is draining you and making you feel not good, if it's not good for your nervous system, it's okay to take some space from that person or even cut them out of your life. And obviously, if you've tried talking to this person before, repeatedly, about the stuff that bothers you, ghost them. You tried, they didn't listen. It's on them now. You don't have to try to get them to change anymore, because they're not changing, and they're not respecting your boundaries, and they're not making you feel good, and that's not healthy. And it's not good for your overall well-being. And if somebody has ghosted you, please respect that they've ghosted you. Don't try to force them to communicate with you. They've probably already tried to communicate with you about what's bothering them. And if you didn't listen, that's on you. And as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of November 2022, going into holiday season, between Halloween and New Year's. And there's going to be a lot of people that are estranged from their families, from their friends, and that is 100% okay. It's good and it's healthy, and those are boundaries that probably should be in place. It's not our job to question people why they put time and space in relationships, or make them feel bad about it, or question them about it, or try to force something on them. If they are not responding, or if they put a boundary in place, or if they are estranged from people, then support them in that, because that's a very hard decision for them to make, and it's not usually ever taken lightly. So that's kind of my thoughts on boundaries this week, this season, this holiday season especially. What are some life rules you can put in place for how you want people to communicate with you? And what kind of time and space might you need from people that aren't healthy for you? And overall, how are your relationships and the time and energy it takes to maintain them, and the timing and level of communication it takes to maintain them? How is that impacting your nervous system? Is it making you feel better, or is it making you feel worse? And if it's making you feel worse, then it might be a good time to think about, giving it some time and space. So that's it. If you're interested in being coached around topics like this, check out the links below. Take care.